Okay, welcome back. This is part two. I hope we don't need to go into part three, but real quick, I want to show you this. So we had a plugin conflict essentially. I used this conflict checking tool, and it basically responded that the SEO plugin that we were using was preventing us from opening and editing posts, and that's kind of what I was showing you at the end of the last video. But anyways, here we are. You'll notice that this is very different now. We're in orange instead of black, and you can see it's titled Staging. Let's go into the dashboard here now. This is the staging site. So this is a clone. This is oh no. So an old version of PHP. Oh, I didn't realize that was an issue too. Well, let's see what we can do with this. Sorry for that interruption. Yeah. So, but anyways, what I was getting at is this is a clone of the site. This is not the actual site. Your site is good to go in this other tab. But we're going to go to plugins over here, and what I want to do is we're not really even using that, I'm sure. On migration, I don't know what that is. Contact Form 7 is quite popular. Why you're running two contact forms, I'm not sure about that. This Genesis, is that part of your theme? I don't know. Let's find out. Um, okay, this, there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not familiar with, and like some of these things you wouldn't really need if you would just program a link that goes to a different section of your site. This is doable just through your site with a tiny bit of code. I don't know why someone referred you to that plugin. This seems like overkill and or duplicate content. This we definitely want to use. Even though I've deactivated this, we're going to update that. And we're going to update all of these. Let's see how this goes. This is probably going to take a minute. I'm really concerned about that thing on the other page that we're not running the most current version of PHP. That is definitely a problem, just kind of sitting in the background waiting to become something worse. That is something that your hosting service more than likely would take care of for you. We can see what we can do about that from our end. Just want to get these all updated here, and then we can take a look at the live site. And just while we're in here, I think I'm going to go for it and update WordPress to the newest version of WordPress. This one here is really important. And I'm glad whoever set this up for you has it running daily. That's a little bit overkill. If you had, like, for example, WordPress running on an auto backup, you may want to have this running daily, but I think weekly is probably fine for running that, and we can change that in settings. Um, it's not going to mess anything up by running every day. It just seems excessive to me. But let's get these last two updated, and then I'm going to try to update WordPress core, and we'll see where we're at. Oh, hey, here we go, the last one. Let's see. We may end up running into a third video here, but I just really want to make sure that we get everything up to date and stable, and then we can really get into the training on the onesie twosie issues of getting posts updated and make sure the content's looking all super sharp. All right, there we go. All of our plugins are up to date. Let's see what happens when we update WordPress to 5.2. Oh no, we're running 5.4.45. Anything under than 5.6 is really kind of considered a potential security risk. What are we gonna do about that? Might want to know who you are hosting with. If you want to put me in touch with them, I would be happy to take care of that for you. Out of curiosity, I'm wondering what theme you're running on here. Dynamic Gen. So this is the one that's running. I'm curious why there's a child theme. Genesis framework. This child theme is basically when you create a theme and then you create a child theme. When the user's browser loads your site, it reads through, for example, the parent theme, and then we'll say, okay, I'm going to run that. But then there's a child theme that steps up and says, oh, wait a second, I have custom functions and custom styles. Please run those. And then another really great benefit to having a child theme is that when you do update something like WordPress core, any of the custom styles or functions that you've built with this will stay intact when if you add some custom CSS or custom JavaScript to your main theme, it will get overwritten when you update WordPress core. So having a child theme installed is generally a best practice. So let's see what we can do about that. All right, let's do this. We're going to go and visit the cloned site where we ran our updates. And here we are on that site. This is here because this is something I wanted to point out earlier too. If you're looking at WordPress in the same browser that you're actually running WordPress in, it can give you kind of a false positive on what you're looking at as far as any of your content. That's why that edit button was down here. This is the original live site, and we're looking at it in Google Chrome. This is the dashboard site, which we have open in Safari. So that's also generally a best practice to have your dashboard open in one browser and view the live site in a different browser. Just going to go and look at a couple things here. We'll go and see how that post looks, and that post is there. We've got this comment, hello, nice post. And I'm going to post a comment. It's probably going to ask me to log in. You should have, oh, we're logged in as you, so that that's there. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just really concerned about that PHP version update. Really like to get that taken care of. What can we do about that right now? I don't know. For now, hold on 1 second. I'm going to pause this again and get back to what we were looking at before. I'm going to test this out and then update the main site. Okay, and welcome back. I created the staging version of the site, tested it in the clone. We went through and updated all of your plugins. You may or may not notice, but I filled out the contact form and sent that to you. So it seems like everything works fine with these updates on the staging version. So I went ahead and updated everything in here. It's really important to keep these things up to date. And this is like the most important thing to keep up to date. And like I mentioned, and I included a couple of sentences about it in the email, but we need to contact your hosting service and get them to update to the latest version of WordPress, or excuse me, PHP, which is PHP Hypertext Protocol. Why they titled the first P PHP is kind of an inside joke that I don't understand, but that's more of a developer kind of an issue there. Yeah, so that's definitely an action item on the short list. I wanted to show you something else that I noticed on one of these pages, and this is just really minor, but if you notice here, like we've got your headlines in this blue, which is great, and this right here is blue, but these are black, and I think you were questioning that earlier. See, that one's just black. This one says blue. And when we look at these over here in inspect, we've got the WH outside of here, and then there's this, what is called inline CSS. And CSS is cascading style sheets. That's the style of the site. And for some reason, somebody hooked you up with these spans inside of your titles, and why they have like a non-breaking space and some of these other things inside of the H2, the second level headline, is just kind of confusing. I'm not sure why they would do it like that. If you're in here on the actual page itself, I can show you a little trick that I found. We go into edit, and we're going to edit this with the we're here in the standard. This is the WordPress 5.0 now, 5.2 Gutenberg editor is what they call it. Under here, we can go into the code editor. Now this is a little tricky, but I'm going to jump through this real quick here in 2 minutes. Go into the code editor, and right here, this and ampersand NBSP is a non-breaking space. Well, that is too. This inline text align center is fine, but all this inline CSS is really not a good idea. Like right here, that's going to mess up the readability because it says WH. Why? We don't need these little custom code snippets in here. And I'm not sure where else I'm going to find these in the site, but I would really recommend going through and getting rid of these. We're going to update this, and I'll show you real quick. I'm going to run out of time here, but we updated that, and we're back, and now we're on the site. And see, here's that WH in blue, and then the Y and everything else in black, and these are all black. We're going to do a hard refresh, and voila, we have blue headlines. And that's also going to clean this up, because now we have basically text-aligned center and Y group psychotherapy. Well, this text-aligned center we can do with custom CSS, and we can put that in the child theme. So there are a handful of other things like this that I'd like to kind of look through here and see what's going on. I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to pause this video and we'll start up again.